you'll be able to incorporate a bunch of tips and tricks into your daily life. This is easy. That's the one thing I really love about essential oil. They're effective and also super safe. All right. So we're bringing in our YouTube audience. I believe they are here. Welcome to our YouTube audience. I'm Carrie Donegan, and you're watching Radical Age Reversal. Right now, we are going to get into a show on easy. That's the one thing I really love about essential. I want to make sure we don't have any background noise. I apologize for that. And we're going to talk about essential oils. So I got into essential oils in 2005, which is about 18 years ago. We're in 2023 right now. And I found out about essential oils because I had a health crisis. I had lost my hearing in one ear. I was having difficulty sleeping. I also didn't quite realize at the time I was going through a lot of hormonal changes, emotional swings. I had two small children at the time. So there's a lot going on in my life, and I'm sure you can all relate. That might be something that's going on in your life right now, or maybe you're just remembering a time in your life when that was true. In any case, I think that however we find essential oils for the first time, maybe watching this podcast is your first experience with essential oils. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I think you're going to find them to be as surprising and as effective as I did. So I was not a believer at the beginning. So if any of you are skeptical, I'm right there with you. I understand. I was very much used to using conventional medicine, Western medicine. I didn't really know about natural health. I had dabbled a little bit in supplements and what that was all about. Of course, I loved exercise, and I knew that to be healthy, I had to eat a good diet. I'm not sure I knew exactly what that was at the time. But all of this kind of came together at a health crisis. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. We don't really look at our health until we are looking at a health crisis. So it's great if you can kind of do this preemptively, right? To actually do a preventative use of some of these practices that we're teaching you. But if you can't, it's okay. If you're in a health crisis right now, we really do want to help you get out of that. And if something natural is going to put you on a better path, then we're excited that you can join us and talk about something natural. All right, so essential oils. Lost my hearing. A friend of mine recommended that I start using essential oils. I kind of dismissed the idea as being fake medicine. And after a little bit of persistence and kindness, she found an intersection where my understanding of what essential oils were at the time and the issue that I was having intersected. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is that I try to give you a lot of free information, and I hope that you'll pass that information on. That is the blessing that I'm hoping to create with the show. So sometimes those conversations are difficult to have, especially with people who are like me and very, very skeptical about natural things, natural products, and certainly essential oils. So, how do you have a conversation? You have to create what I call an intersection. So, what was my intersection? My intersection was relaxation and stress management. The idea of using essential oils to improve a hearing loss issue was too far fetched for me. But the idea that I needed to manage some stress in my life and maybe that would help me heal faster, that made sense to me. So, how did we come to this intersection? We came to the intersection through conversation. So, I don't want you to preach about essential oils to people. You can certainly teach essential oils to people if they're open and interested in learning. But more importantly, I want you to open up a dialogue about the person and their individual needs. Now, notice I said, don't open up a dialogue about any of the information I'm sharing with you. The most important thing when having a conversation with someone is to find out what they're going through, where they are in their head, what they know in their heart, and what their needs are. Those types of conversations are going to make it possible for you to have a really good conversation, what I call an intersection with what you hope to do to help the other person and where they are and what they can hear right now. So I couldn't hear, no pun intended, but I also couldn't hear intellectually the thought of using a natural product for severe and extreme health challenge seemed a little bit, as I said before, very far-fetched. So she took the conversation in a different direction. How do you sleep? How relaxed are you feeling? Have you ever heard of using essential oils for relaxation? And of course, being a lover of going to spas and pampering myself, I thought, yeah, actually, that to me sounded like a possible solution or a possible use for essential oils. So, the first essential oil that I was introduced to was actually lavender. And you're going to find that a lot of people know lavender. Now, I'm going to start off and say there's a lot of bad news about lavender. There's a lot of studies out there that show extreme, scary things about lavender. Does it cause uh, little boys to grow breast tissue? And I've said this before a million times. If using lavender caused a boy to grow breast tissue, then both my husband and my son would look like Dolly Parton. And that is not the case. So I want you to know that if you use a very high quality essential oil, one that's tested and trusted, one that's consistent, one that's backed up by science, and one that is a tested grade essential oil. So I go with the doTERRA CPTG standard, which is certified pure tested grade. The reason I like a tested grade oil and all of the tests it goes through is that every time I use that essential oil, I know it's meeting a standard. And because the United States, at least, does not standardize the quality of essential oils, it's important for you as the consumer to know how to be able to discern whether what you're buying is a quality product, or it could be a really dangerous product, or not even a health product, it's a perfume product. So that's where it gets a little challenging. I can't say enough about doTERRA and all of the amazing things I've experienced with these oils. Of course, you should do your own research and you should look around at the oils that you think are best for you. But I think what you're going to find is that you're going to end up back at doTERRA. But nevertheless, some of the things you want to look for would be a supplement label, because that way you know that it is considered GRAS, which is all these acronyms. GRAS is considered to be a food grade essential oil, something that can be ingested. It says that you can take 1 drop in your mouth. And we're going to show you a couple of ways to take essential oils today. And I'll tell you why we're going to do them those ways. But there's also something really special that doTERRA does that no other company does. And that is every batch is connected to a QR code. And these QR codes will take you to those tests that I was talking about, those verified tests, so that you can see exactly what this particular batch of lavender, I'll show you the bottle label, what it was tested for and the results. And so even if you can't read the test, you can look up how to read the test if you're a Google warrior. But there's a lot of information that can be gained and a lot of confidence that can be gained knowing that the product that you're buying is one that has a lot of science and a lot of testing backing it up. All right, so that's the safety issue. And I think it's just really important. I don't want to belabor the point, but just imagine I was using the essential oil for my hearing loss. I didn't want to use anything that's going to make it worse. And I was using it for stress, and I wanted to make sure that, the scents wouldn't make me sick to my stomach or overpower me or be too fragrant or too perfumey. But they're not perfumes, they're essential oils, which gives them a different class. So even if you're someone who says, oh, I hate the smell of lavender, right? Try a pure essential oil lavender, because it may not be the same as what you're used to smelling in a candle or in a perfume, for example. All right, so this was brought into my life for stress management. And her recommendation was to put it on the bottom of my feet every night before I went to bed. So I'm just going to show you how to do this, because I think sometimes to see things is easier than to try to figure out what that means. Now, the rule of thumb with essential oils is 1 to 4 drops per application. And on average, you can apply every 2 hours. That's just a good rhythm in your life. Can you use more? Yes. Can you use it more often? Yes. Can you use it less often? Yes. Can you use less oil? Probably not. 1 to 4 drops is really the sweet spot. You don't want to, I don't know. I don't know how you'd use less than a drop, but basically you have to use enough essential oil for it to be effective, but you don't have to douse yourself. Remember, little bottles, this has 250 drops in it, so there's quite a few applications in this bottle. So I'm gonna, let me see if I can just do this so you can see my foot. There is my foot. So I'm just going to take a couple of drops of this essential oil and I'm going to apply it to the bottom of my foot. Now, I also like to apply it around my ankles because you have hormone points around your ankles. I like to get it even like between my toes because the essential oils are also good for keeping things like, you know, bad fungus or bacteria down, anything like that. They're also really good for your nails and your skin, especially lavender. So 1, 2, 3, right? And I'm just kind of massaging this into my foot. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that if you are going to apply this to a larger part of your body, you may want to dilute it. So say, for example, we were going to do a massage of the back. I would use an unscented lotion. I really like this one from doTERRA. And to mix that, you're going to just take a couple of drops of the lotion. Oops. This one, I think, I don't know what happened to the spout. I don't want it to squirt all over me, so I'm just going to remove this for a second. Probably got something stuck in it. Okay, so there's my lotion. All right, and I'm going to put, I would say if I'm using that much lotion, I'm going to use about 1 drop and mix it up. It smells so good. And again, you can massage it on your foot like that, on your skin. This is going to help lock in the essential oil. So remember, essential oils are volatile, which means that if we use them without a carrier, like a lotion or a fatty oil like coconut oil, they're going to evaporate into the air pretty quickly. Now, that's a good thing because the second way we want to use essential oils is inhalation. But if your goal is to keep an essential oil on the skin, say, for example, you're using it for relaxation purposes and you want it to get soaked into your muscles, or you're using it for pain relief. And again, you want to get that soaked into your muscles or your bones or the back of your neck or whatever you're trying to do. You're better off using a carrier oil because it's like a seal. It's going to keep it on the skin, and that's really important. Oops, it's also going to moisturize the skin, which is good for your skin too. So again, I would use a very pure unscented lotion or some type of fatty oil. I really like coconut oil. This is the one doTERRA sells, but you could also use almond oil or olive oil, anything that you really enjoy. Okay, so let's get back to my story. I started to put lavender on my feet every night. And the other thing I did was I put a washcloth at the bottom of the shower and I put a few drops of the lavender, and then I would let the hot shower run on the washcloth at the bottom of the shower and let that steam up. And I was breathing in that essential oils in the shower. It was opening up my pores with the heat, and the essential oils were getting into my pores. And I just felt much more relaxed. The second oil that was recommended to me was Balance. Now, Balance essential oil is a blend of essential oils, and it is blended to help you feel balanced. Remember, my goal wasn't hearing restoration. The only one in my head that I thought was possible was the relaxation. So again, I started to put the Balance, and you can see Balance has a carrier oil in it already. It has the fractionated coconut oil in it. It has blue tansy, which is why it's a little bit blue. And again, I would just rub this on my feet, okay? And as I was talking to my friend, she said, here's another great place to put your essential oils. And this is true. You can take your essential oils and you can put them behind your ears, never in your ears, never in your eyes. Okay. So I put this behind my ears. And so now I'm putting them on my feet. I'm putting them behind my ears. And you can see it took seconds, right? So this was not a big deal in terms of adding it into my daily routine. What did I find over time? What I found over time, I'm going to get the third oil that I use just so that you can see how I was introduced to essential oils. The third oil I was introduced to was helichrysum. So I usually keep my essential oils alphabetized. Oh, the helichrysum is out, probably because I was using it on my mom for her pain. All right, well, that's okay. Instead, just so that you can imagine, it comes in a little bottle like this, helichrysum. All right, so I started to use these 3 oils, 1 blend and 2 singles behind my ear, on my feet, about twice a day. In the first month, I felt the relaxation. I really felt my stress level going down, and I was using them in the shower. In the second month, I felt like crackling in my ears, which was a little bit weird. But I started to feel like whatever congestion or whatever flow was going on in my head was clearing up. And by the third month, my hearing was fully restored. And I went to the doctor and I said, can't explain it, but I feel a lot better. And he said, yeah, your hearing is really good. I haven't had a problem since. I used to have chronic ear infections. I don't have them anymore. I haven't had them since 2005. So again, going on 18 years. And it's just been a remarkable journey. And from there, I started to become a lifelong learner of essential oils. So every time a situation would come up, I'd use them, and I learned through using books. And so there's some great books out there, and so many of them, they're really good. I even wrote a book with my business partner, Elena Yordan. It's called Essential Oils, Healthcare for Today. Check it out. It's on Amazon. It's the compilation of all the people that we worked with and all the protocols that worked for them. We put them all together in a book, 50 of the top health issues. So super easy to use. There's also some more basic oil books. I think there's one called the Oil Bible. There are books that are a little bit more focused on the history of essential oils or the plants or the usage or the science. So, there's a lot of them out there. Oil Life is a popular one. Dr. Scott Johnson has a couple of great books I would recommend, but maybe next time I'll come and I'll give you a whole review of books. Let's do that. We could do books and apps for next week's podcast. I think that would be fun. But you can see, so in 90 days, my issue was cleared up. And I learned that 90-day periods are really very effective. And so I would challenge you, if you're going to use essential oils, to give yourself 90 days. Don't look for a cure overnight. Don't look at one application and it didn't work. Give yourself that period of time to heal. All right. And give yourself time to learn how to use the oils, get into a new routine, connected to a routine. At the beginning, I used to use them when I brushed my teeth. So I would put my oils by my toothbrush, and I thought, okay, so I'm used to brushing my teeth. I'm going to add this to a habit that I've already have. That's called habit stacking. I'm sure you've heard of this before. So brush your teeth, use your oils, and then you can branch out, and then oils become your habit, and you can actually attach other habits to your oil habits. And that works really, really well. So let's talk a little bit more about inhalation. I'm going to use a roll-on right now for this, but you could use the essential oil too. This is my new favorite blend, Shinrin Yoku, which is a forest bathing oil. Excuse me, I've got something stuck in my throat. So let me show you how you can use this a couple of ways. So this is just the oil, it's undiluted. I can put a couple of drops in my hand, rub them together, and then So you want to just breathe as deeply as you can. The science tells us that breathing an essential oil to be truly effective, you have to breathe it for about 20 minutes. Now, I know for most of us, it's unrealistic to think that you're going to sit here and do a 20-minute breathing exercise. But if you can, that would be wonderful. If you can't, you can get a diffuser and put the oil in the diffuser and run that for 20 minutes. Just as effective. You may not have the silence and the relaxation benefit that you're going to get from like sitting and inhaling the oil from your hands, but it's still going to be really good in the way that it hits your olfactory system. All right. You can also use these essential oils. Many of them come in roll ons, which means that they've been pre diluted and they're ready to go applying to the skin. So if I'm going to inhale an essential oil like this, one of the things that I will do is actually I will roll this right under my nose. So just like this, goes right under my nose. And then I'm breathing that. Now you can see you're going to have a little bit of a shiny mustache. So you can go ahead and just kind of blot that in if you're worried about the shine. But this is a very subtle way to inhale essential oils during the day without making a big deal out of it, right? Let's say you're at the office and you really just need a spa break, right? Or you're working on some kind of protocol that includes inhalation. And you don't want to take out your essential oils and just, start deep breathing exercise in the middle of your office. Everybody's going to think, like what's going on? Or if you're on the subway or if you're waiting in line at the grocery store, right? But you do want to take a moment to get some inhalation time in for the day. Get a roll on. Now, if your favorite essential oil by doTERRA doesn't come in a roll on, you don't have to worry about that because you can actually buy essential oil roll ons empty and make your own. Now, one of the things that I would recommend that I love to do is actually doTERRA sells these little sticker sheets with the names of the oils. And so instead of creating a label for my homemade essential oils, I just take the stickers and put them on the outside. So this one is grapefruit and frankincense. Now, I don't have any coconut oil in here, but if you did, you could put coconut oil sticker in there. Now, you can also get a permanent marker. And if you have a blend that's not even or it has a certain recipe to it, then go ahead and write the number on the tab on the sticker. So let's say, for example, this was 5 grapefruit to 1 frankincense, then I would put 5 here and 1 here. This happens to be a 50-50 blend, so I didn't put any numbers on it. But again, you can roll that right under your nose. And of course, if you want to do the hand inhalation with a roll on, you can. Okay, so you could just roll this on your hand. And I will caution you that over time, especially the cheaper essential oil roller bottles, sometimes the plastics break down from the essential oils. Because one of the great things about essential oils is they will break down plastics. And if you can, go back and watch my episode on microplastics and the dangers of microplastics. Using essential oils to remove microplastics from your body is really effective. And unfortunately, when it comes to the bottles that we put essential oils in, they have to be dark. They should be glass, as little plastic as possible. You can see in a doTERRA essential oil roll-on, they use this really heavy duty plastic and a metal roll-on. Sometimes when I buy an essential oil roll-on, I don't spend that kind of money. So you can see mine is a less sturdy plastic and it's actually a glass roller bottle. So there may be some separation between the ball and the lip. So you have to be careful because sometimes the balls will roll out and then you kind of have a bit of essential oil mess. So always go a little slowly and make sure with your homemade roll-ons that the ball doesn't fall out. I will share with you one cool thing that doTERRA does is their balls don't roll out because they actually have this lip that covers the ball so that it just kind of peeks out. It doesn't, it's not fully exposed. So I can actually show you what that looks like. See the difference? Even the height, right? So you have a less of a ball here then you see the roll-on here, and that's going to make it more stable in the roll-on. So a lot of times people will actually use their roll-ons and then just keep these empty bottles so that they can make their own. These are going to be better to use than the kind that you buy online. But I like the different colors. They come in, so I have different blends and different colors, so you just have to be a little mindful of some of those idiosyncrasies that come with making DIYs, right? Your own essential oils. All right. So before our time runs down, I do want to talk about ingestion because it is something that is specific to doTERRA. And again, you really want to buy something that's a certified pure tested oil so that you can take them internally. Again, 1 to 4 drops is usually what we're looking for. And you can pick whatever essential oil suits the time that you are living in, meaning seasonally, meaning stress level, meaning health challenge wise, and you can make your own essential oil capsules. So if I'm going to assess kind of like how I'm feeling today, I'm a little bit tired. And so I'm going to go with some basil. So basil essential oil is really good for giving you a little bit of energy and brain focus. So I'm going to put 2 drops of basil in this capsule right now. I'm also thinking I have a little bit of pain. I've been doing a lot of lifting of boxes. Maybe my joints are a little bit achy. My favorite oil for that is Copaiba. So I'm going to add a couple of drops of Copaiba to my capsule right now. I'm thinking about the weather outside. It's a little snowy and cold. I'm a little bit worried with the holidays that maybe I need to boost my immune system. And so I'm going to look for our favorite immune boosting blend, which is called On Guard. And I'm going to grab some On Guard. Do I have it here? I have this stuff. Maybe I don't have that one. Okay, so if I don't have On Guard, my next favorite is DDR Prime. It's a little bit more heavy duty, but you know what? At the holidays, maybe I need the big guns. So again, 2 more drops of the DDR Prime. And then I always like to add an essential oil that's calming. And so I'm going to add, let's see. Well, let's go with lavender because we talked about a lot about lavender today. So I'm going to do 2 drops of lavender. So you can see I have about 8 drops in this capsule. A full capsule will fill 14 drops. All right, so I'll just show you what the capsule looks like. And then I'm going to put a lid on it. Now you can do this as often as every 2 hours. You could do this once or twice a day. But the nice thing about making your own capsules is that you can go based on how you're feeling. Do you have a little bit of a headache? Are your hormones a little need of some balancing? Maybe your skin isn't looking as good as you'd like it to look, so you want essential oil that would be good for your skin. This is where the books come in. All right, so you're not supposed to memorize all this information. Once you know the basics, how to apply an essential oil, how to inhale an essential oil, and how to take it internally, how many drops, how to use carrier oils, those are the basics. We went over all the basics today. Then you get those books out and you can start using them according to how you're feeling today or what your needs are. So this is going to be my capsule for now. I'm going to have a sip of my favorite tea, swallow that capsule, and wish you all a super healthy, happy holidays. And I hope that if you've never used an essential oil before, this has been a basic overview for you, and you can take this information and do a couple of things. One, I hope you'll incorporate it into your own life. And secondly, I hope you will take this information and share it with at least one other person. Remember what we said at the beginning of the show. Find an intersection in your conversation where someone is going to be open to hearing what you have to say at their moment in life. If it seems too advanced for them, then go ahead and bring it to a place where you find an intersection, a connection for conversation. I appreciate your time. I wish you all the most wonderful holiday, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.